latest breakthrough in medical assistance technology is giving a new meaning to the phrase, "The eyes are the window of the soul." New advances means people affected by disabilities can now communicate solely by using their eyes. The Spanish company Arisbond has developed new technology that allows users to control a computer cursor and read on screen simply by using their eye movements. The new technology aimed at helping persons with disabilities and illnesses.
The technology we have developed and are commercializing is an infrared device that is connected to the computer through software and enables you to control the computer accurately with your eyes.
The technology allows users to send emails and communicate with family members through a device connected to the computer. Users can select letters on an on-screen keyboard by blinking using eye tracking software. The CEO said there are currently 700 people using this technology, and he expects this number to go up to 1 million in the future. They're working on applying this technology to tablets and mobile phones. The new products are expected to be ready by the end of the year.
We want to go beyond that, and we are working to remove the device from the computer and in the future enable people to control mobile phones with their eyes without any kind of additional handwear.
He said being able to control mobile phones through eye motion technology would open up new possibilities for people with disabilities, enabling them to move and communicate easily. The LEGO Group opened its first LEGO certified store in Shanghai, making a milestone for the group's presence in China. Let's take a look. To celebrate the store's opening, Andy Huang, the first LEGO certified professional from China, displayed his works based on famous Shanghai landmarks.
The model is a Shanghai bound. Shanghai bound has many traditional buildings, so I chose this for my topic to build this 3D model. I used LEGO elements to show the details of this historic building, and also in this model I use around 100,000 LEGO bricks, and there are 300 figures to show there is a very crowded and very happy place.
LEGO stores show families and children a much larger display of LEGO creations, giving a sense of all the different building possibilities LEGO offers. The new flagship store in China adds to LEGO's global network of stores offering children and adults a chance to play with LEGO blocks, as well as showcasing the increasingly varied LEGO playsets.
The reason why LEGO would like to open more LEGO certified stores in China is that we believe that this is an excellent way of reaching more children and their families in a way where we can showcase just how much potential there is in the idea behind LEGO.
The once failing LEGO company has gone from strength to strength after Jorgen Vik Knekstrap was appointed as the first non-family CEO in 2004. The company then made a dramatic recovery, initiating the popular LEGO movies, developing an even wider range of products, and opening flagship stores in many countries around the world. Now it seems LEGO is targeting China, aiming to inspire its younger generations to develop their creativity and innovative thinking. Nepal's annual Horse Racing Day was eagerly welcomed in the Kathmandu Valley. Lifestyles takes you there for a look. The Horse Racing Day is the oldest festival celebrated in Kathmandu. The festival, which falls on the day of Wansi in the Nepali month of Chaitra, has been traditionally dedicated to horses. As part of the festivities, the Nepal Army cavalry team performed spectacular artistic stunts on horseback in the Twindikul Army Pavilion. Hindu mythology relates the festival to the death of a demon named Twindi. It is said that the Twindi used to live on a meadow, which is now called Twindikul, and used to terrorize Kathmandu locals. After his death, people celebrated by dancing horseback on his body. Since then, it is traditionally believed that a parade of horses at Twindikul will keep the demon spirit away. The event also showcases activities like bike races, dog shows, and musical games. UNICEF said nearly 500,000 children in Yemen are suffering from severe malnutrition as a result of the country's conflict. The number represents a 200% increase since 2014, adding to the risk of famine. Let's have a look. A UNICEF report said families in Yemen were increasingly resorting to extreme measures to support their children. The fund reported families were eating much less, opting for less nutritious food or skipping meals altogether as the number of extremely poor and vulnerable people skyrockets. Around 80% of families are living in debt, and half the population survives on less than $2 a day. UNICEF said more children were being recruited by militant groups and pushed into early marriages as family resources diminish. It also reported Yemen's health system is on the verge of collapse, which would leave some 15 million men, women, and children without access to health care. Waves of cholera and acute watery diarrhea, which broke out in October 2016, continue to spread, with over 22,500 suspected cases and 106 deaths. The report added as many as 1,600 schools could no longer be used because they have been destroyed or damaged. Many are also being used to host displaced families or occupied by militant groups. As a result, some 350,000 children are unable to continue their education, bringing the total number of children out of school to 2 million. The report also said the number of children killed in Yemen's conflict has increased by 70%. Nearly twice as many children were injured and recruited by militants since March 2016 compared to the previous year. UNICEF urged parties to reach a political settlement and to uphold children's rights in the country. It also appealed for an immediate and a massive scale-up of the response to combat malnutrition among children and pregnant and lactating women. It emphasized the importance of improving humanitarian access for Yemen's most vulnerable citizens. In a remote, impoverished village of Bahawa in Egypt's northern Gaza province, a European woman has set up charity kindergarten and educational center. A group of children live and study there happily. Let's take a look.
A colorful handmade wooden gate opens the way for children of a small Egyptian village to work towards their dreams by learning their ABCs, as well as valuable life skills. Diana Sander, also known as Didi, was born in Hungary and raised in Germany. 6 years ago, she traveled here from Europe to open her Nile River School as a charity kindergarten and educational center in Bahavar village on the outskirts of Giza. Didi says she built the center brick by brick through small donations from friends and volunteers around the world. She added she's teaching children life, not just languages and practical skills.
We just wanted to find out what are the problems here, what are the needs of the people. They look very basic, very like 100 years somewhere in history before. And then they said they need a school, they don't have a school. And then because I'm into the education world, so I thought, okay, let me start a school like in other places I've done.
With the area's high illiteracy and limited services and educational opportunities, Didi Center is an educational oasis. It has indoor and outdoor spaces for activities like learning Arabic and English alphabets, painting, singing, knitting, cooking, carpentry, and others.
I learned English here, and I knew how to sing some English songs. All I have learned here helped me at my regular school. A lot of parents come here to thank Didi for teaching their children and for coloring the fronts of their homes. Coming to this small village is not so unexpected for Didi. She left her normal life in Germany when she was 22 and traveled to India where she learned meditation and yoga. She also spent 16 years living in Asian countries providing similar charitable services. Didi said Egypt for her was a new culture and a new challenge.
To find myself, to realize myself, what is my purpose in life, my mission in life. Yeah. And through that I realized one has to work on oneself and at the same time do some service in the world. Yeah. And through that, you know, I devoted my whole life to development.
Didi opened a center only 1 year after her arrival in Egypt in 2011. Now it is attracting between 60 to 120 children per year. Some of the children at the school have become teachers for younger children. At first, Didi planned for her charitable project to be in Cairo. But when she saw the peaceful scenery of Bahavar village, she thought it would be more attractive for volunteers and young students. Yasmin Rafat, a volunteer from Cairo in her late 20s, has spent the past 2 years reading for the children.
I believe volunteers make a difference for the children who are so curious when they see a new visitor. It's important for them to see some new people who come from outside their village to help and teach them.
The charitable project is not only helping with literacy rates, it is also inspiring a love of learning in a village and beyond.
Chinese ambassador to Kenya says China would donate rice worth about $22 million to Kenya in humanitarian relief.
The donation is aimed at helping Kenyans affected by natural disasters, such as the drought that impacted 23 counties in various parts of the nation.
And as you understand, as good friends and partners, China is always, we are paying great attention to the drought situations in Kenya. And for the past 3 years, we have been working very hard to get support from my government, and at the same time we have mobilized all the Chinese community here in Kenya to support the local people.
Kenya's Treasury Cabinet Secretary expressed his gratitude to China as he received the grant.
Today, the Chinese government is giving us 2.2 billion Kenya shillings to support intervention in the drought area. Particularly, this support will actually for purchase of rice, so that this will alleviate the shortages that we are currently facing due to the drought. So for me, it's really to thank again the Chinese government for this gesture.
President Uhuru Kenyatta declared the drought a national disaster, asking assistance from the international community. The Kenyan government has set aside funds to support mitigation measures that included distribution of food rations, water, and medicine to drought victims.
As March comes to an end, the longer days and milder temperatures create the perfect conditions for skiing. In Oslo, the world's largest ski event for children has attracted younger skiers and their families to the slopes. Let's have a look.
Attracting some 6,000 participants, the 45th Children's Holmenkollen ski event is one of the most popular events for children. Even skiers as young as 2 years old can join in. The event offers a special platform for children to sharpen their skiing skills and learn the tricks and tips of skiing. It has proven popular with Norwegian families keen to pass on the traditional love of skiing.
I'm here with 3 children. They are 8, 5, and 2 years old. And skiing, cross-country skiing, pretty much defines what it means to be Norwegian. So we start when they're about 1 year, 1.5 years, and we buy them skis and take them out skiing. Every year we come here. It's like end of the season celebration for Norwegians.
It's the outdoor activity in the weekend. So that's how we exercise during the winter. That's how we survive the winter.
Children's Holmenkollen is an annual ski held at Holmenkollen Ski Resort and has been organized by the Federation since 1973. In 2002, the Children's Holmenkollen event reached a world record with nearly 10,000 children in the arena. The record remains unchallenged in the Guinness Book of Records.
As young Indians are taking to the internet for both their study and leisure reading, as well as buying print books, old-style book markets are struggling to stay afloat. Let's take a look.
This Indian capital Delhi's oldest book-selling market, especially known for its textbooks and also one of the largest in India, is now struggling for survival. The main reason being the competition from Indian online book sales market that has been eating into the sales of these book publishers and sellers in Nai Sadak.
Nai Sadak is the oldest book market in the Indian capital New Delhi, and it is losing business fast. Traveling through narrow alleys and bylanes of Old Delhi, one stumbles upon Sadak, which is also one of the biggest wholesale and retail markets for school and college textbooks in India. However, over the past couple of years, book sales here have come down by almost 60 to 70%. Many booksellers say they're considering shutting down business if things get even worse.
We have been running this shop since 1948. We sell only books. Schools have taken a major chunk of our business, but as they now have bookshops on their own premises, our sales have gone down. Online book sales have also affected our business badly. Then there are many pirate copies with very low prices available, and many students buy them. This has almost destroyed our business. Publishers give a massive discount for books sold online, way less than the prices for which the books would be available at a shop. I would say we just have 2 to 5% of business left. My father has set up this shop in 1952. He did much good work. We began with books of Hindi literature, then we got into selling dictionaries. The internet has badly affected our dictionary sales specifically. Our business has come down to even less than half in the past because of online sales.
Many Indian students are looking for course materials online or buying books online. And many schools offer students access to lectures and notes online.
Reading is changed somehow, like the books sometimes they are not available, and which are available they're too costly, and library is not having many books. So we go on YouTube tutorials or net material to study, and college also provides us net material instead of books.
There are also e-Kindles and all available now, and I understand that it's easy to carry and comfortable, but then the feel of reading from a proper book is something which is uncomparable.
For Indian students, online study is cost-effective. They can do their own research and find information from a wide variety of sources rather than only relying on prescribed books.
Even I have in my course, I always, if I can't understand any topic, I go online and search it. So yes, online, I prefer more online.
Academically, we find more content online because as my course demands different books of different authors for the same topic. So it is first of all, it is cost effective. So if I have to look for a topic online, it is more easy and convenient, cost effective too, than buying the whole book and studying only one topic from it.
The trend sends bad news to Sadak, but booksellers are trying to turn around the tide.
Now that book business is being dominated by the online space, we too have set up our own online portal. We will now begin to sell our books through the portal. Students don't think of the cost even if they have to pay extra money while buying a book online. They think of the convenience that they will get the books delivered to their house in a day, and they can study rather than having to go to the market and look for books.
Nature reserves, endless grasslands, countless species. Kenya is known around the world as one of the best locations for wildlife. Alongside promoting its wildlife tourism, the East African country has been on the front line of the world's anti-poaching fight in recent years. Lions, leopards, elephants, buffaloes, and rhinos, all of these are affected. While international tourists enjoy the Big Five on their visits to Africa, few of them would be able to imagine the severity and intensity of the anti-poaching war. Lifestyles has the report from Kenya on the progress made in the past few years.
Wildlife tourism can be called the goose that lays the golden egg in the Kenyan economy. It is the lifeline. Indeed, Kenya owes its global reputation as a leading safari destination to its magnificent wildlife. Thus, wildlife conservation is directly linked to economic development and the people's livelihood.
Kenya cannot survive without wildlife tourism. The industry has been the second largest sector of the country's economy for a long time, after agriculture. It accounts for 21% of the total foreign exchange earnings. However, Kenya's wildlife has been threatened in recent years. poaching and trafficking are the main causes, followed by expanding human and economic activities. The Africa Wildlife Foundation reported that wildlife trafficking is the world's fourth most valuable illicit commerce. The trade crosses countries' borders and continents at a $10 billion scale per year. The illegal commerce rips species from their habitat and endangers the survival of both wildlife and the ecosystem. In the past few years, there has been a constant increase in the poaching of elephants for ivory and rhinos for their horns. Figures show that some 100,000 elephants have been killed since 2013 to supply ivory to illegal markets. At the current rate, African elephants could disappear from the wild in our lifetime. Some countries also consider the crime to be a threat to national security and the global economy.
The poaching of elephants and rhino and illegal wildlife trade is a major problem across much of Africa, and it threatens the very survival of these iconic species. Poaching is facilitated by international criminal syndicates and fuels corruption.
In 2016, the Giants Club Summit was inaugurated in Kenya. This was one of the biggest government-led conservation conferences ever held on the continent. The club was founded by Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta with the presidents of Botswana, Gabon, and Uganda. Its objective is to bring together key players to combat the poaching crisis. These include leaders of states where elephants are found, heads of major businesses operating in Africa, and leading elephant protection experts. Together, they're aiming to provide the political will, financial resources, and technical skills that are urgently required to save Africa's remaining elephant populations.
It is important for all of us to appreciate the wider dimensions of the poaching of elephants and even other wildlife that we have on this continent. There is convincing evidence that poaching is aided by international criminal syndicates. It fuels corruption. It undermines the rule of law as well as security, and it even provides funding for other transnational crime. This directly threatens the capacity of our nations to achieve sustainable and meaningful social-economic development.
The 2016 summit secured a multi-million-dollar funding to strengthen frontline elephant protection, boost prosecutions of illegal wildlife trade, and support innovation and conservation finance. Following the summit, Kenya sent a strong message to poachers, exporters, and traders.
Here at the Nairobi National Park lays the ashes of ivory tusk band that belonged to about 6,500 elephants that were killed for their tusks. This is considered to be Kenya's biggest conservation effort, in a strong message to the world to stamp out poaching trade.
专业的团队，丰厚的经验。
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Lake Cook Law Group.
投资理财、法律咨询，芝加哥专业律师团队为您的梦想提供最安全的保障。
Hello, welcome to China Mosaic. I'm Pandong in Beijing. The opening ceremony of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, or the AIIB, launched in Beijing on January the 16th. Representatives of the 57 founding countries gathered in Beijing to witness the historical moment. The AIIB, headquartered in Beijing, is the world's first multilateral financial institution initiated by a developing country. Since the AIIB initiative was proposed in October 2013 and officially founded in December 2015, the China-initiated multilateral bank has attracted attention all over the world and established friendly relations with many great powers. The 57 founding members are from 5 continents, including developing countries such as China, India, and Brazil, and developed countries like the UK, Germany, and France. According to the Daily Telegraph newspaper, a successful AIIB would be a diplomatic triumph for China. According to the Asia Development Bank, Asia's infrastructure demand is expected to reach $730 billion per year by 2020. However, the existing multilateral investment banks could only provide roughly $10 to $20 billion for infrastructure investment annually. In consideration of the current situation, the AIIB was born at exactly the right time. The bank aims to mobilize funds to support infrastructure construction in the Asia-Pacific region, provide financing support for its member countries, and promote infrastructure and economic development for all related countries. As an initiating country, China will shoulder more international responsibilities to fulfill the duty of a responsible major country. In the inauguration ceremony, China, the biggest stakeholder of the AIIB, pledged that it will not only submit its equity capital on time, but also invest $50 million as special funds for infrastructure programs that will soon be under construction in underdeveloped member countries. At the same time, China has made it clear that it will not ask for the financial support of the AIIB during the bank's nascent stage, signaling the country's clear stance against skeptical voices regarding the country's pledge to push forward the development of the regional economies. As a multilateral institution with regard to the present international financial system, the AIIB will adopt English as its official language and US dollar as the settlement currency. According to the Financial Times, the adoption of the US dollar instead of the Chinese yuan as the settlement currency inside the AIIB shows that China has no intention to utilize the bank as a means of internationalizing the Chinese currency. In his keynote speech at the opening ceremony of the AIIB, Chinese President Xi Jinping said, "As the saying goes, the bonfire burns higher when everyone adds firewood to it. The AIIB belongs to all its member states. It's designed to facilitate common development in the region and the world at large." The inauguration of the AIIB will not only benefit the development of China's economy, but also inject vigor to revive the many economies in Asia